Hello everyone, PolishLynx here. Let's continue the story of Narcissu side second. Because we probably go for a trip now. But you know, even if I weren't different, I'm her sister. Spending up until now 20 years together. We're sisters, you know. Chihiro-san. The always composed and kind Chihiro-san was for the first time crying. The figure was neither the pleasant helper nor the resolved Catholic, just simply a hopeless girl. Even though I'm always praying from One-chan. Chihiro-san continued to cry, and the only thing that I could do was gently pat her on her back. Some other words or technique, I just couldn't find them. Before, Himeko-san had said that for people, there are only 3 choices. Perhaps Himeko-san didn't want Chihiro-san to be a Lois. I'm sorry letting you see such a sight. Don't worry about it. Then I headed to Himeko-san. In my right hand the key I received from Shikira-san. In my left hand 2 lunches that mother had made for me. In the end, I didn't know what that final thing was. Even where we were headed, I hadn't been told. The parking lot. Here, I waited for Himeko-san, who'd probably be coming soon. The car called Yunus that I got to ride last time was today also washed to a shine. Surely Chihiro-san, or the person I went with before at the beach, was always keeping it clean. As I thought about that... Sorry, I made you wait. Himeko-san finally appeared, as always taking the key as if it were perfectly natural. However, her clothes were different from normal. They were probably work clothing, something like white overalls, and were clothes that you couldn't call pretty even insincerely. What are those clothes? Yeah, for today, it won't do without these clothes. Me in pajamas would have no meaning, you see. Even though normally, whatever she did, it had been in pajamas. Was it today she was not a resident of the 7th floor? Setsumi, get in. I climbed inside the car. Like before, I was made to put on my seatbelt. And once that was verified, quietly the engine started. Well, we're going. Looking up, the sun was high above, and it looked to be another hot day. Under that sky, with a big turn of the wheel, the unit slowly moved out. Exactly where we were headed. What we were going to do, I didn't know. However, just like this, Himeko-san's final drive began. Reflecting the deep blue sky, while running a red open-top car, a light engine noise was raised, a familiar scenery went by, drowning out the voices of the cicadas as it continued on. Passing the intersection in front of the hospital, in moments we came out onto the large road. And so, where are we headed? A high place. I'm asking for the specific location. That's... I don't know. Huh? That was a bit unexpected. It was Himeko-san after all, so whatever she said, I hadn't planned on being surprised, but... Is that supposed to mean you'll be going as you please? Well, a bit different. As the words are, I'm at a high place. With just that, it was so abstract I had no idea. I'm afraid I have an idea. I don't like that idea. Well, I think I will decide by the time we get out onto the national road. Was it already decided? Or was it something that could be decided so easily? Besides, even if a destination were decided, what about the road all the way there? There was no navigation system, and even though she was always looking at maps, it didn't look like she brought them today. Don't worry, no matter where we go, we won't get lost. How can you say that so confidently? Well, that's because I've already memorized all of Japan. Holy crap. How? The response came as if it were perfectly natural. Was that possible? It's not like I was doubting Himeko-san's words, but for me, it was quite unbelievable. Besides that, what I need right now, if it isn't a navigation system, it's also not a doctor. Then what? Indeed. Then, after a moment of thinking, it's Professor Croquette. Again saying that. The roadster continued on, from the city to the suburbs. Then as green started standing out to the eyes. Lowering the speed, we drove while eating mother's lunch with our hands. But, Setsumi, it was surprising that your family gave you permission, wasn't it? For staying out? By the way, in your family, I've become what sort of person? Someone from a normal ward? Or maybe a nurse? Himeko-san saw through everything. Certainly until yesterday that was exactly how it was. I didn't know you were someone from the 7th floor. It's quite amazing. I've revised my opinion of you a bit. But it seems like you're still unable to say that you don't like this. As she spoke, what was in her hands were the lunch's fries. Well then, my son, here we'll teach you a special way. Something like that exists? Yeah, it's very simple. You just need to come to like them. Certainly, it might be exactly that, but don't say difficult things. Oh really? I think it's much easier than curing your sickness. I'm sure it was exactly as Himeko-san said. If my sickness were cured, then all the problems would be solved. Mother, who had reddened her hands, would not be sad and would once again smile and have beautiful manicures. Even that I understood, but this is something I couldn't do anything about on my own. Compared to that, coming to like fries might be a simple thing. The roadster continued on, and I clicked the mouse button. Oh, I can do that. Its red hood reflecting the blazing sky. And then, just when the sun was coming close to its highest point, what appeared before us was an even bigger road. In moments we'll come out onto the national road. As she spoke, she put the car onto the shoulder and stopped. Decided on the destination. I'm still debating a bit. Hearing nothing other than a high place, just what she was debating over, I had no clue. I guess, if you're talking about high places, then it's Mount Fuji. Mount Fuji? If I hadn't been mistaken, that was certainly what it sounded like. Whatever you say, it's #1 in Japan after all, right? That really couldn't be thought of as serious. Mount Fuji height 3,776 meters. Probably didn't need saying, but Japan's highest mountain. I didn't know too much, but I had heard that snow remained even in the summer, and for the winter I had heard that only true mountain climbers could take it on. Well, shall we aim for it? Mount Fuji? No matter what, that's too reckless. I know, I'm not stupid. It's not like aiming for the summit or anything. We can go up the 5th station by car, and even that has about 2,000 meters to it. Even saying that, it's not like we had to go all the way to such a place. Even for normal people, that was about where they stopped, and the two of us, at the least, couldn't be called healthy. And in Himeko-san's case, she was a resident of the 7th floor. Besides, compared to the 7th floor, it's a place 100 times higher. Those words I just quietly listened to. I wasn't positive, but maybe Himeko-san really was going to jump down. I recalled before, while on the roof she whispered that this height, it's not enough, while looking at the fence. First, we head from Road 6 toward the Tohoku Expressway. With just that announcement, the roadster once again began running, heading towards the national road. She turned the wheel. From here to Mount Fuji, just how much distance was there? For me, I didn't even have an estimate. What I knew was Himeko-san was not joking, but serious, and also she most likely would not get lost. From the national road onto an even larger road, we then switched onto the expressways. Same as before, perhaps because she was driving her usual safe way, the cars in the high-speed lane were rapidly passing by. Eventually we came to a place with many tall buildings. It seems that we had entered the Tokyo area. From there, Itabashi Junction will get on the Ikebukuro-sen. The road that had continued straight until now changed one that twisted. On that congested expressway, the roadster drove even slower. Just now, the one that passed us was an Audi. And before that was a Pajero, a new model Geomaster. Occasionally, Himeko-san would name the cars that passed us on the expressway. It's a mysterious thing, isn't it? Just when I was set to go on the 7th floor, I came to love cars much more. As she spoke, she slowly turned the wheel, matching the large curve ahead of us. That expression seemed somewhat sad and also somewhat nostalgic to me. Do you also like cars? I don't know. If it's alright with you, should I give you this to you? With her free hand, she pointed at her own car. How about it? Would you accept it? Would you accept? After a moment's thought, I shook my head to the side. More so than the problem of not having a license, I felt it was something that I shouldn't accept. I see. Everyone's gone and turned me down. From the Tokyo Geikan Expressway, we get on the Tomei Expressway. With those words and the big turn of the wheel, the car shook just a bit. I felt that Himeko-san in the driver's seat was different from usual. Not only were her clothes different, but the somehow strict expressions were more common. The high place that we've come all this way to go, Mount Fuji. Without a doubt, it was a height that couldn't even compare with the 7th floor's roof. Was she planning on jumping down? And 10 things to do before dying. The final thing, just what kind of purpose did it hold, I wonder. That's tough, that's getting tough again, seriously. As the chapter ends, let's end this episode, because it's probably getting close to an end. I hope Hope you enjoy it and see you in the next one. Bye.